Welcome to Variant, where we love comics more than I'm excited that the superhero movies of 2018 have officially started. I'm your host, Arris. Yes, my comic comrades, Black Panther, which is the final MCU movie before Avengers Infinity War, has finally hit theaters and we feasted our eyeballs on it last night. Which means it's time to give you guys my spoiler-free thoughts. I'll also get into a spoiler review this Monday on Variant Live. But for now, let me tell you how I feel about this movie overall. And I'll say right off the bat that I liked it and definitely had a good time watching it. Do I think it's the best MCU movie thus far? No. Similar to Thor Ragnarok, I wouldn't even put this in my top 5. I'll also say that it seems like not saying it's the best Marvel movie or superhero movie ever made is the unpopular opinion, but as always, I'm going to give you guys my honest opinion and judge the movie solely on its merits as a movie. Again, I still enjoyed the movie and had a good time watching it. I just don't think it's the end-all be-all superhero movie like a lot of the hype around the movie is making it out to be. For me personally, Captain America Civil War is what set the bar for what a superhero movie can be. And funny enough, Black Panther plays a huge role in what made that movie so awesome. In my opinion, Civil War is almost flawless and has the perfect blend of action, comedy, storytelling, and a ton of amazing characters and motivations that technically should not work in one movie, but it does, and it does very well. That also includes how they incorporated Black Panther. So with Civil War easily being my favorite MCU movie, I kind of gauge all other MCU movies off of that in terms of how much fun I had watching it. And for a few reasons, I just didn't think the Black Panther solo movie reached that level. But to be fair, most MCU movies don't. But now you might be wondering, well, what are your top 5 MCU movies? Well, that would be Spider-Man Homecoming, Captain America Winter Soldier, the first Guardians of the Galaxy, the first Iron Man, and of course, Captain America Civil War. All the other MCU movies like Black Panther fall somewhere close together below those for me. But at this point, you're probably wondering what I did and didn't like about the movie in general. Well, 1, don't rush me. 2, fine, I will. Let's start with the good stuff. I thought the first act of the movie was super solid. It actually had some of my favorite scenes and storytelling pieces in the movie. The setup was fantastic, and seeing T'Challa go through those Wakandan rituals or trials to solidify his place as king was awesome. The costuming for the movie was also great. Every character has their own unique sort of vibe and look, and it just all works great within the highly advanced and vibrant nation of Wakanda. Speaking of Wakanda, it was just so much fun seeing the hidden city come to life on the big screen after so many years of seeing it in the comics. And speaking of comics, there are 2 things that happen in the movie that's ripped right out of the comic books. But I promise this will be spoiler free, so all I'm gonna say until Monday's Variant Live is Killmonger on Warrior Falls and Black Panther and a Rhino. I geeked out pretty hard. Can I also say how cool Black Panther's new costume was? This is all in the trailers, so no spoilers here, but I mean his new suit hides in his necklace and forms over him on command like Iron Man's Extremis armor. It also absorbs and stores kinetic energy to be dispersed at will. Freaking amazing. As for characters, Chadwick Boseman was great as King T'Challa and Black Panther, which is to be expected as he was also great in Civil War. His love interest Nakia was great, but again, Lupita Nyong'o is just a fantastic actress and she did an amazing job. T'Challa's sister Shuri was equally awesome. I loved her as the brains who invented and developed most of Wakanda's tech. And one of my favorite characters in the movie was Danai Gurira's character, Okoye. She was such a badass, and I loved how she was T'Challa's right-hand woman, so to speak. I believe she could kick anyone's butt. She also had some great one-liners. Andy Serkis as Claw was great, although I have a huge gripe on what they did with his character, but I'll get into that in my spoiler review. Then of course I have to mention Erik Killmonger, played by Michael B. Jordan. Now this one is a little bit weird for me because I like the Killmonger character, I just didn't like how Michael B. Jordan played him at times. I thought Killmonger's origin and character was cool, especially how it affects T'Challa, but I felt like Michael B. Jordan was trying to act overly tough and cool when he didn't have to. I mean, he was already rocked and pretty freaking physically intimidating, but several times his acting felt over the top and like he was trying too hard. Which is kind of shocking to me because I really liked him in Creed, he was awesome in Chronicle, and even though Fantastic Four sucked, he was good as Johnny Storm. True coolness and tough people don't have to try, they just are. Oddly enough, my favorite scene with Killmonger is his first scene in the movie when he's in the museum. I thought that was great. With that said, let's move on to things I didn't like so much. I thought the movie was very slow during the second act. I get that it's pretty much an origin story movie, but there was just a good chunk of time through the middle of the movie where I felt it dragged. I also thought the movie lacked something in the action department, and again, wasn't on par with some of the best action we've seen in the MCU. Don't get me wrong, it has several very cool action scenes like the car chase and casino scene you see in the trailers. But several times I felt like the lighting during the action was just too dark, and I really couldn't tell what was going on. Then in one of the fights between Panther and Killmonger, some of which you also see in the trailers, had moments where I felt like, oh, hello Spider-Man 3, as the characters were falling and fighting almost exactly like Spider-Man and Venom at the end of Spider-Man 3. Overall, I also think Black Panther came off way more formidable and imposing in Civil War. His fight scenes in Civil War are some of the best fight scenes in any comic book movie. At least I think so. So for his own movie not to hit that level was a serious disappointment for me. Also, despite what I hear a lot of other people saying, I really think this movie still suffers from the MCU villain syndrome. It's just like, why Marvel Studios? Switch it up, dang it. And that is something I will definitely get into a lot more on Monday's Variant Live. Anyway, to wrap up my thoughts until Monday, I definitely don't think it's the best superhero movie ever made, but I did enjoy it overall and had a lot of fun watching it. All I know is I can't wait to see what happens to Black Panther and the rest of the Avengers in Infinity War, because let's face it, everything has been leading up to that.